87-82, Colorado wins to improve to 3-1 over Nebraska Omaha. But Ryan, it sure didn't feel like a winning post-game press conference. Tad Boyle was kind of like a volcano. He was simmering over on the sidelines throughout the game, didn't say a whole lot, and really erupted after the game.
Yeah, he was in rare form in that press conference, just full of good quotes. You know, he said the perimeter defense was an absolute joke. The perimeter players are going to have a come-to-Jesus meeting with themselves. He said he's thankful for a lot this Thanksgiving, but mostly for the fact that they don't have class this week and he can practice them as much as he wants. Sometimes you get some of the best quotes from a coach after a win that they didn't feel was good enough. And I think he was justified in being a little upset with this one. You know, they did come out flat. They really weren't awake until halfway through the second half. And they just kind of coasted through this one. So you can understand why Tad Boyle, after such a promising start, was very disappointed to see his team kind of take a night off, or a day off.
Another thing that got under Tad Boyle's skin was the fact that they gave up 17 layups in this game, obviously unacceptable. Josh Scott made a comment that he felt like they had kind of reverted back to last year's team in terms of their defensive effort. Tad did go out of his way to say Josh Scott and Wesley Gordon kind of bailed them out in this game, were the reason that they won this basketball game. The early start, Ryan, it seems like every time they play one of these Sunday games at noon, they do come out really slow, but you kind of asked Tad Boyle a little bit about the early start, and he didn't really want to use that as an excuse, and that's an understatement.
Yeah, he said, forget that. He wanted to use a different word there. As a coach, how can you not be upset by that? Like he said, every single person in this building had to wake up at the same time, and, Nebraska, Omaha, it wasn't any different time there than it is here. So, he did not like the fact that, that was possibly an adjustment they had to make. He thought that's pretty ridiculous. And for a team that practices at 7 a.m. every morning, it's not like this is early for them. So it's not an excuse, but you better hope they figure out how to play at noon, because they're going to be going up into a hostile environment in Fort Collins in just over a week at the same time. So, they're going to have to figure that out, and I can understand why Tad Boyle wasn't very happy with that.
Still get a win, though, a 5-point win. This could actually be a good thing for this basketball team, depending kind of how they use that. And I guess it does give Tad Boyle an excuse to really put these guys through the ringer this week.
Yeah, he couldn't be very upset after the Iowa State loss, and then the last two wins were very good. So this is kind of his chance to give them a wake-up call. And he said, I gave them a piece of my mind in that locker room, and you can only imagine with the way he was talking to us, how he was talking to them. So it did kind of come at a perfect time for Tad, where he can, throw this on film all week and show them why he's working them so hard. And so from a player standpoint, you might regret kind of coming out flat in this game, because they're going to have to pay for that in how hard they're going to practice this week. But like you said, for a coach, it kind of works out perfectly. Now he has a chance to have some coaching moments, not a game for a couple days here, and use that against another team that isn't exactly up to their level and talent.
Kind of like what I was alluding to earlier, I think the concern really sets in if you have back-to-back performances like this. Should Colorado fans really overreact to this?
No. There's going to be people upset, and people are going to want certain players not playing at certain times and whatever. But it's all in the course of a season. They were bound to have a game like this. It always happens. And so you get it out of the way, you get the W, and you move along. And if they come out like this again on Wednesday, then yes, you can start to be concerned. But right now is not the time for that.
Wednesday night, Air Force is going to come to the Coors Event Center. Signing off.